Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, voice girl, and welcome once again to another edition of the Man Space Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, never mailing it in on a fight, the one and only Big Les.
What's up? What's up?
What's up,
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. You?
Hey, man, I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
So, did you watch that 8-bit fight?
Yeah, I watched it, man. I watched it. Ah.
What? Okay. Before we talk about Netflix in general.
Yeah, because you knew that was coming. You knew that was coming.
Let's go straight to the fight itself. What was your thoughts on the fight?
I told the wifey prior to the fight, this was publicity for Jake Paul.
Yes.
And I said to her, I was like, they're not going to allow Mike Tyson to beat up on him.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
As he was biting his gloves, I said, he fighting some demons right now.
Mm-hmm.
I told my wife, I said, he is fighting demons because he wanna go at this dude.
Mauro Ronaldo kept saying that he's seen him bite his gloves in the past. I've never seen it.
I have too. I've seen him bite his gloves
like,
in the past.
As much as he was doing, and there
He
was
was
a couple times where
he was frustrated, bro.
You saw where he could have unloaded and he held up. And so
Mike is way quicker than old buddy.
Yeah, I saw a rumor that it was written in his contract that he couldn't do uppercuts.
Could not uppercuts.
Right.
Yep.
So that was a rumor. I don't know if that was true or not.
They said they saw the contract.
You can't believe everything you see on social media, but
I
heard that rumor, but you would see him nope.
Pull back. And then shortly after that, you saw
biting the glove. Yeah.
It was frustration.
It was frustration, and I hate it just because of we as we get older still feel like we're 20,
we
25.
Yeah,
we can do everything still.
So
I'm like rooting Mike just for that alone.
Yeah,
like
me
we
too.
Can still do it.
Yeah,
and he made us all look bad, bro.
Well,
he made us look smart because he walked away with $20 million. So there's
and here's the thing, something that has never happened before. He was able to restrain himself.
Yeah.
Because never ever have you ever seen Mike, Mr. Tyson, Mr. Iron Mike Tyson, restrain himself. He slapped the boy in the press conference. Yes. I'm sure that was staged too.
It was staged. It was staged too, but that kind of got you in the mood for Tyson. There you go. That's classic. Yeah. I mean, it made you want to see the fight.
Yeah, that was classic Mike.
Getting over to the Netflix side and their buffering.
Lord.
Dude, they said 60 million people tuned in, and that's pretty much what shut down their servers.
Yeah.
60 million people.
It's different to be able to serve 60 million people, but everybody's not watching the same thing.
Right.
But when you do something like this, they've done live events. Well, we think they were live.
Yeah, they've done a few soccer matches and stuff like that on Netflix, but nothing to this level, right?
No,
they got WWE coming in January. They got some NFL games coming up at some point.
Don't they got the Christmas game?
I think so. Yeah,
they got the Christmas game. If you can't handle 60 million for Mike and Jake Paul, what makes you think you're going to be able to handle the NFL Christmas Day game?
Right, because you're probably going to get a good 30.
Easy.
I mean, because WWE is probably going to get you 1 to 2 when it comes in January.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but this is a new wrinkle for Netflix.
Hey, 60 million. Everybody, all these streaming companies were like, whoa, hold up.
Right.
and
Right.
they're trying to get more fights like this with Netflix.
Mhm. Did you watch the female fight?
Oh my gosh! Woo! That was the fight right there.
That was worth every bit. The Serrano, the two Spanish brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Serrano and Barrero or whatever.
yeah. Ramos and Barrero.
And
Yeah,
Barrero.
yeah,
Bro, they
yeah. That
got
was good.
down. Those two
Those. Yeah,
fights
yeah.
got down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl that had an eye cut open though. I think
Oh
she
my
got
gosh,
robbed. It was
she did.
horrible.
Yeah,
She got
Serrano.
robbed.
She got robbed.
She
She
got robbed.
definitely got robbed.
She got
She
robbed.
definitely got robbed. I'm like, for
Yeah.
anybody to sit, and the way the one judge, I mean, like, had it decisive.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what fight
How?
were you watching?
Yeah,
Right.
Taylor didn't beat her like that. Taylor was winded.
Right.
She could bear. Now, let me tell you something. She was throwing them bows, though. Winded and all. She was throwing bows.
You get hit more than 100 more times than you hit the other person. Ain't no way you can sit there and say, unless I fired off 100 shots extra in one round and didn't do nothing else, there's no other way.
Yeah, CompuWare had it right.
Yeah.
Was it CompuWare? It's CompuWare, right?
Yes. So
yeah. They had it right. Because old girl was doubling up, tripling up. And then old girl would get tired of getting hit, and then she'll do a three biggest combo.
Right.
And the head butts, I get it though. If you ever been in contact sports or anything of that type of nature, cuts are going to happen because, she was leading with her head, but what she should have done was pop that head back so she, stop her from leaning in, but she just didn't take advantage of it.
The post-fight interview, when the guy was like, "She's got a big head," and
I died laughing. Oh, was that her husband or what? Because he was upset, man.
He was really upset.
That cut, he was like, "Look at her damn face," And they were talking about in the corner, and she didn't want to give up. That's hard. Mm-hmm. She had nothing but. She needs to be in a men's locker room somewhere talking about heart.
Yeah,
because she got it.
She need to stay right there in Dallas and talk to the Cowboys.
Yeah, bro. They ain't gonna listen. They ain't gonna listen.
Bro,
they ain't listening. They are not listening.
I saw something that said Jake Paul has won more in AT&T Stadium.
More games in that state. Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
hey, man. But that's what happens when your ownership is a part of the leadership. You know what I mean? Owners are different. You're as rich as you are, sir, because you know how to run a business, not necessarily a team. You got to get the right. So I'll say this about Dallas, like I said it about the Lions. In past years, the culture is what's causing their issues. And the Lions had a bad culture. I mean, you had some great players.
Yeah.
But you had bad culture. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you got a guy like Megatron. Right? He breaking records.
Right.
But you can't run the ball. Mm-hmm. Then when you can run the ball, you can't catch. You don't have nobody to catch it.
Right. So
it was just one dimensional, offense. Throw and catch or hand off and run.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say that about Barry Sanders era, because we did have some nice receivers. We had Herman Moore. We had
Herman Moore.
You know what I'm saying? We had a couple other cats that could actually catch the ball. Barry didn't need a line. But if he had one, he would have crushed little Emmett.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Barry was never about those records. And like in college, I remember he was going to set the all-time rushing record in college,
Mm-hmm.
and he took himself out the game.
Yeah.
Just so he didn't break the record.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have shut it down and then tore that record up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He
He
took
himself out so he didn't get it.
You know, the running joke between him and his daddy was, you ain't better than Jim Brown. You know, you'll never be better than Jim Brown. So, hey.
I can't say because I wasn't in that era when Jim Brown was playing. So I can't say.
Yeah.
You know, like I came up watching Sweetness.
Walter Payton. Yes,
Walter Payton, right?
Yeah.
But Barry was a whole different.
Whole nother beast.
Oh my gosh.
A different beast.
Barry would run backwards like 15, 20 yards and still turn around.
Yep.
And shake people. And yeah.
And he wasn't the fastest.
No.
He's been hawked down by many a defensive player.
He wasn't the fastest. He was just he was quick. He was
extremely. You're very. And if you didn't pull him down, if you didn't hold on to him, he was gone.
Right.
You know, but shoot, Barry's legs, two of his thighs was, one of his thighs was two of mine.
Right.
You know, so, and he was short. He was at a low center of gravity. He had superpower. He had a super powerful body. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, he wasn't going to outrun nobody. But I'll tell you what, you didn't want to get in front of him. He wasn't going to run you over either. He's just going to run around you and make you look stupid.
Yeah. Now, Bo was the one that would run you over.
Bo Jackson.
Man, if his
Lord have mercy.
Man,
Lord have mercy.
If he would have been able to have a long career. Boy.
Yeah. But somebody else too that I think they could have done it. Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker used to put the brakes on people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Herschel.
You're right. You see, I backed up real fast. Yeah, but as far as the NFL, I got to give him his just due there. Yeah. I mean, he was a baller.
I met Herschel years ago, man.
Yeah.
My Mama Russ used to love some Herschel. Like when Herschel was in college, like we lived in Georgia.
He was a monster.
Yes. We lived in Georgia at the time. And so my mom would work on Saturdays. And so I would have to watch the games and tell her what Herschel
did.
Yeah. And what my Hershey bar do. And I would have to tell her his stats, right? Yeah. So when I met him, he's like, I was telling her that, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. Call her up. And I called Mama Russ, and she wouldn't answer the phone. Like, of all times for her to be out and didn't answer the phone.
Wow.
Any other time I would get her. And that one time I got Herschel Walker standing here waiting to talk to her.
Yeah. And, oh man. Yeah, that would have been special. That was special. You are a great son. You know that?
Right? No.
Yeah. Your sister told me some things, but it's okay. She told me a few things, but it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. And so before we're going to have another conversation off air. Manspace Nation, we'll be back with more of the Manspace podcast because I need to talk to my co-host so I can find out what these things are. Yo, so big bro.
Yo, man.
So there are a lot of videos and interviews that you see where there are women out there and saying, if a man can't do this, that, and the other, then he can't be with me. Or if a man can't take care of, pay my bills, he can't be. If a man can't, pay, for me $200, blah 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 blah. We can't be together. All
Right.
this other stuff,
Right.
right?
Right. Need $100 for lunch. Okay. Yeah. Let's
Right,
keep
right,
going.
right.
Yeah.
But today, times have changed, right?
Yeah.
We came up in
Absolutely.
an area where men were the financial breadwinners.
That's right. That's right.
Times have
And
changed with today's economy. Most
mhm.
people are in households where both work.
Dual incomes. That's right.
Dual incomes. You
Hmm.
got to have that
Yep.
because jobs are so unstable. I just saw where Boeing is laying off a bunch of people. I just saw,
Yeah.
I forgot what the company was. Another company, Ford.
Yep.
Ford is about to lay off a whole bunch of
Hmm.
people.
At the tire company a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
the largest, one of the largest tire companies in that area,
yeah, yeah.
shut its doors and didn't even tell its employees till that
Right.
day out.
So you got jobs, people losing their jobs left and right. We're coming up on the holidays. You almost have to be in a situation where you are living in advance and having money put away,
Yeah.
but you can't live beyond your means. So you need to have two incomes to help
Yep.
supplement that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But today, the financial burden.
Hmm.
Should we as men still be expected to provide and bear the brunt of the financial burden?
I don't know.
That's my question to you today, big bro.
I think I think it. My personal opinion.
Hmm.
I think it goes to the expectations of your family, of that
Hmm.
woman and you, and what you guys decide to do.
Right.
Right? Because
We know as a blanket, it's always going to be about what
yeah,
is best for your situation.
but in my
However,
mind,
right, Lou,
but
we playing strictly stereotypes, so we're not going to talk about your
okay,
situation. So this is strictly stereotypical. Should men bear the burden?
no, not by themselves. No, absolutely not. We all live here, but no. Mm-mm.
I've always felt that whoever makes the most money is going to put the
Mm-mm.
most money into the pot.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not going to sit there and tell if I'm making twice as much as you, you're not going to put in the same amount of money into the pot as I am. Right?
Well, I didn't say it was going to be equal,
No,
but both
no,
parties need to
right,
contribute. Yeah,
right, yeah,
yeah,
right, right. But I feel like okay, we have multiple accounts.
right.
You have your account, I have my account, then we have a family account.
That's right.
The family account takes care of all household bills.
That's right.
If you came in with stuff before we got together, that's your stuff. You take care of that stuff. If we weren't, I'm not taking on the burden of that. You had that stuff. Why am I paying your student loans? I didn't know you was in college. Like,
Well,
I
okay.
know. I'm like that don't work that way. That's my mindset.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but but
Okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
but it's like how we got the house, we got food, we got cars, we got all
Yeah.
these things that we got together. Okay, yeah, this household stuff is going to take care of that. You want to
Mhm.
leave the lights on, downstairs when we upstairs. Okay, that's part of the household bills. You
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
cable, you want internet, all this stuff is household. So that
Mhm.
should come out of that fund. But if I make twice as much as you, then this is the amount that's going to cover these bills, plus us being able to put money into savings.
Right.
So to me, it's like, okay, I feel like when we lay out our budget, right, our
Hmm.
budget should cover, uh, every household bill should be covered, right?
Sent 100% of the bills in the
Covered.
house.
And then you look at whatever your food, maybe
Hmm.
a date night or two thrown
Hmm.
in there. All that should be thrown into
See,
that. And
you
and
better than
because
me with that. I ain't doing no date night in there.
no, I'll put it in there. At least
Yeah,
one. At
yeah.
least one. You know, I'll put a
Mm,
date night in there, right? But all that money goes into that pot, right?
hmm.
And then you count in your savings on top of all of that.
Right, right.
So, because your savings is another bill, right?
Hmm.
And if you're church folk, you putting your tithing in there too.
That's
But
right.
your 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 savings, you need to treat that just like it's a bill, right?
Mm,
And then you're readjusting that financial part every month. You're
yeah,
adjusting it because things change, but you're
hmm,
making sure all that stuff is in there, right?
right,
So that
right.
way you're living ahead, and then she still has her money to do what she want to do with. She can
Hmm.
put her own nest egg together, her own savings account together. If she wants to sit there and not do anything with that money, that's fine. That's
Right,
hers,
right,
right?
right, 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 right.
you know, but everything else is taken care of, right?
Hmm.
And you're putting yourself into situations where if one or both of you lose your job, you know,
Yeah.
you gotten money put aside because you got money in your savings account. So
Hmm.
hopefully you've been able to put away enough to where it's going
Yeah.
to handle everything
At least,
for,
at least 6 months.
right.
Whatever you got, whatever you putting into that monthly account times
Yeah.
6. That's what should be
Uh-huh.
sitting over to the side. You know what I mean?
Because you lose your job, man. Insurance ain't cheap. They have
Cobra it
it,
stings.
it's almost cursed.
Yeah.
Had to
Yeah,
catch
for
myself
real.
there.
For real, for real. But at the same time, I know I agree 100% with that. We do the same thing, but there's a I prefer to keep my credit cards out of it,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Because
And
that's
she
personal.
right.
That's personal. Even though sometimes your credit card may be used for household
Yeah.
things.
Well, we have a household credit card.
Okay. You have a
So
household
if
credit. Okay.
we have a household credit card,
Yeah.
we have a household credit card, we have a household debit card, checkings account, the whole 9 yards. We got
Yeah.
what one person should have. We have that for the house itself.
Yeah.
The Home Depot, the Lowe's,
Right.
whatever for the house, we
Yeah.
have that in a silo,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
whatever those bills equal up to, whoever makes more puts a little bit more in.
Right.
So we 70-30 splitting, 60-40 splitting,
Right.
whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So that's how we handle our business. Now,
Right.
recently we put our cars in there too, our car in there,
Hmm.
because it's a shared vehicle.
Right.
It's in both of our names, and
Hmm.
it's a part of this house,
Right.
right? Because that's our grocery getter. So we put the car in there, the mortgage in there, the insurance, all those
Right.
things line up. And yeah, we had to kick in a few more dollars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just so we can make sure we take care of X. And then whatever you have left is what you have left. You can do like I do. I mean, I ain't gonna put all my personal business up, but I use a credit card for everyday purchases,
Hmm.
right? But I pay it off at the end of the month. I don't go
That's
over.
smart. If you have rewards, and that's a
Yeah,
that's a whole nother
yes,
financial chart.
yes,
If
yeah.
you have rewards, because I do that. I actually have an Amazon card,
Hmm.
and I use it for everyday purchases that I pay off every month. But I'll sit there and I'll look like, dang, I got $50-$60 worth of credits that I can turn around and use that to
Use it for
buy something
gas,
free.
or yeah,
No,
I
I,
I
I
use
buy
mine for
I,
gas. Yeah,
I my credits I use to buy stuff off Amazon.
yeah, yeah.
And so
I
it's like I just had like $100 and something worth. I was like, well, there's somebody's Christmas present.
I know that's right, but
Mhm.
that's just how I do it, right?
Yeah.
Just because to me it makes the most sense, and
Hmm.
I could be looking at this the wrong way, but to me
No.
it makes the most sense because I spend $300, I spend $500. I
Mhm.
take the $500 and I go pay off or pay it off, right? It comes back available to me immediately.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
not like I lost.
Yeah. That's smart.
I lose about $30-$40 because of interest. at
That's smart.
times if I let it go too long.
Yeah, yeah,
But for the most part, I go 250, 250, 250 every 2 weeks, 250,
yeah,
250, 250,
yeah.
because I'm not going to do over $500 in a month,
Right.
right? It's $60 a week in gas.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? What's that? That's 240 right there by
Right.
itself. You know what I
Right.
mean? If we go out to eat somewhere, or if I need some socks or underwear, or I get this wild thing to buy something off of Amazon, then I do what you do. Let me use my
Right.
Amazon card.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And there we are. But I always, everything above that is all savings because I only
Yeah.
use that card. I only use that amount of money. I'm always like, I don't believe you. That's all you use. That's all I use. I use $500 a month. Now, if I get a wild hair
Hmm.
and I need to go buy something
Right.
else, I'm prepared for that. But that's money that I've already just put to the side for stuff like that. It
Right.
don't come out
Right.
my $500 a month operating expense. And some
Gotcha.
people's like, that's not a lot. Yeah, it's plenty for me. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
plenty
yeah.
for me.
It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense because you're not trying to live beyond your means. You said
Yeah.
this is your limit,
Yeah.
and you're trying to
500 a
stick
month.
within your limits.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think most
Hmm.
of us need to show more control to be able to do stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
But when you look at it for much of history, right?
Hmm.
We as men, we were expected to provide
Provide
that financial backing, and we were
everything.
often like the sole breadwinners. Like the wife
Yeah.
took care of the house, we took
Hmm.
care of everything outside of the
That's right.
house, right?
Yep.
Because during our parents' generation,
Hmm.
up until the war,
Yeah.
our grandparents' generation, I'll say,
Hmm.
uh, uh, women were excluded from the workforce. Women
That's right.
didn't work,
Women did. They took care of homes.
right?
And
Right,
especially uh, women of color, if they
right.
did take a job, it was taking care of somebody else's home as well.
True.
You know what I mean? So we had those examples going forward, but then our parents came along, and if you didn't have the financial traits and understand those things,
Right,
you got to remember too, in the 70s and the 80s, our parents were going through things. A lot of
right.
people parents were going through things. They created the welfare system and all of these other different
Yeah,
things
yeah,
to
yeah.
separate the household. So we'll get into that another time. But the household was separated between man and woman to women and children. You don't
Yeah.
have to work as long as the man is not there with you.
Mm.
You know.
So today's society, the
Yeah.
gender roles have changed, right?
Yes, they had.
Many women now earn just as much, if not
Or
more,
more.
than
Yeah,
their male partners.
that is true.
How much do you think that plays into it? Because yeah, we
Um,
did talk about the dual incomes, but now you get into the point of where the women earn more than the men. Do you
well,
feel like
it's
I,
no
I've
longer
I've
traditional. It's
right,
no
but
longer
I've
traditional.
seen videos where women say that they couldn't respect a man that they earned more than.
Well, that's because they're looking at him as a bag,
Mm,
right? Not a love, not a partner. They're looking at him as
right,
a bag. Oh, I can't be with a man because of this reason, because he don't make enough
mhm,
money. His credit score is not here. It's this. Let me tell you something. When you love somebody and you truly care for them, you will bring them up.
mhm,
You'll get them to your level, right? Because you're a team. If you love each other and you work with each other, you're a team. You will bring your partner up, right? It happens. And ladies and men, real simple for anybody. If you have a goal and you're reaching and you're striving, and you got somebody that's an anchor that's holding you back, you need to cut that rope,
right.
you know,
Let's-
because the job is to keep pushing each other and pulling
So
each other.
one of the things that gets me is like we kind of
Mhm.
went through this era, this phase where women were, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss here. You know, right,
INDEPENT.
right,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right, right. But a lot of those same women
Hmm.
still cling to the traditional roles. And like you want to be the new age woman, but you can't, but you still want to have the traditional role
You
of
want to have
being
what your grandma had,
right,
you
right.
know?
So you
Right.
have that dynamic, but then you have the other dynamic of I don't need a man for nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's because I'm not a woman. I don't really can't get into their psyche about that. You know
Right,
what I
right, right.
mean? You know,
But
I have
from a man's perspective, it's like
yeah,
when you're out there trying to choose, you know,
someone who to be with.
right,
Yeah.
and those are your options.
What do you do?
What do you do? Right.
Right. I know what I would do.
Well, what would you do in that situation?
I mean, I honestly, I like a strong woman. However,
Okay.
you gotta, I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know. My old
No,
lady's
I mean,
independent. My old lady is independent. She's very
yeah,
she was. She was.
mm, yeah,
She
you
was she
spoil her.
was yeah, she was very independent.
Yeah.
And she still has those traits.
Hmm.
But she knows now she's in her soft girl era.
Hmm.
Right? She's super soft girl now, right? Because she ain't got to be hard. Because I'm hard. I'm
Right.
her hardness.
Right.
You know.
There's a difference when you have a a woman that's been single
Yeah.
and now she realizes that she can let those guards down
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she doesn't have to be
She
all
got
the
to be.
roles, right?
Yeah. She don't have to play all the roles.
Especially when you end up getting involved with the single mother, right?
Yeah.
The single
Yeah.
mother has to play multiple roles.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And now oh, this is new, this is different. Oh, I don't,
Hmm.
so it
Right.
kind of changes how they view
Hmm.
things after a while. It takes a little bit,
It does.
but
It takes time, but
yeah.
this is what we always talk about though too. Is the facades. They got to make sure this is not a facade. Are you really solid, dude?
Yeah,
Are you a solid dude, or are you one that's gonna crack under pressure as soon as I say X?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
So
hmm.
building off of that, and here's my big question for you:
Mm,
how can men redefine their value beyond in a relationship, beyond just being a financial contributor?
that's kind of tough, man. Um, I
Because
have a
a lot of times, so if you go back to the traditional roles, right? And
yeah,
you remember Daniel talked about being present in the house,
that's
right?
right.
There's a
That's right.
difference between being in the house and being
And being
present in the
present.
house, right?
Exactly.
You come into the house, and I tried to get into this a little bit with Coach, right?
Hmm.
Where we said, man, working, you know, he comes home, he's tired.
You tight.
He don't want to do all this other stuff. He
Hmm.
doesn't want. So it's like, what is your value in a relationship beyond just being that worker that puts a roof over their head?
Yeah, yeah. And it's tough, man. It
Because
is.
a lot of times we
It's
sit there
tough.
and say, I did all this for you,
Hmm.
right? I put this roof over your head. I put these
Hmm.
clothes. I put the food on the table.
How many movies and sitcoms have we heard people say
Right.
these things?
Those exact words.
Yeah,
Boy,
but
that's half a Tyler Perry scripts.
yeah, for real though. But here's the rub. If he doesn't do that, will he even still be respected? Will he still
Mm,
even be what they need? Because honestly, a man that goes to work every day, all day, comes home, he's tired, he eats, he goes to sleep. Yeah, has enough sex to have another baby, right? But the next day he going to grind it. He got hustle. You can't knock that. He got ambition. He's taking care of his responsibilities. However, that other side is not being met. How do you do that? That's a very fine line. Everybody does it in their own way,
Mhm.
right? Because, my stepdad had a hell of a work ethic, right? He worked two jobs majority of my life. Been in it. The man has been in my life for since I was 18 months, 18 months old, right? For most of it, he was a paramedic for the city and he was an emergency room nurse.
Mhm.
One job he worked 13, 14 days a month because he worked for the fire department.
Right.
And the other, he worked on the opposite schedule,
Mm.
right? But I still learned how to fish because I had great men in my life,
Right.
right? I learned how to fish. I learned how to change tires. I learned how to do oil. Okay.
Mhm.
I learned how to fix things that I never thought I would be able to fix. I knew how to paint. You know what I'm saying? All these things, right? But he took that time out to teach me,
Mhm.
to bring me along with him as he was doing those things.
Mhm.
If he walked in this room with me anywhere, you would never be able to tell that man is not my biological father. And I just lost my biological father a few months back,
Right.
right? And I got a lot of those attributes from him as well, because the same thing. They were they were the two of the same men, but different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But my stepfather, and I don't call him stepdad. That's my dad, right?
Mhm.
He he was that guy. My mom worked when she felt like working. If she wanted something more, she'd get a job to go get it. But he paid every single bill in the house. He kept we kept two cars. One was brand new and one was a used car. I carry that same mentality right now from him because I understand the value in that,
Right.
right? My mom drove the new car. He drove the used car.
Mhm.
I maintain that in my home, right? However, some of the things that he sacrificed, and he'll say this now that he's much older, is he didn't go to all the birthday parties. He didn't go to all the family functions, right? He wasn't there all the Christmases and all of the birthdays and all of these things. You sacrifice a lot
Yeah.
being that man,
Mhm.
but you gain a lot from being that man as well, right? Because you serve as a role model. You serve as someone to look up to. You serve your family.
Mhm.
Like you said, these lights wouldn't be on if it wasn't for him.
Right.
Because he out there working and slaving, working two jobs. He didn't have to work two jobs, but he did because
Right.
he put money up, paid bills.
Mhm.
We had vehicles. We never went without food. You
Right.
know, there were things that he was responsible to do, and that's what he did. And
Got it.
he paid the
Got it.
price at times. He unfortunately, because I wasn't I didn't understand it until I became a man,
Right.
what he was doing, you know.
And
It is
that is tough.
it is.
It's a tough role.
Hmm.
And I mean we've seen the
Yeah.
videos and stuff like that where women's like, hey, I'm not working. If you need to go get
Hmm.
another job, go get another job. But I'm not working no more.
And
And
that's your choice. That's the selection you
that's right,
chose.
right. I think that if that works within your relationship,
Then it
it
works.
it works. However, it's like you're not gonna sit around here and just eat bonbons.
Yeah, for real, for real.
You
I
know,
mean, my uniforms better be clean, and I ain't gonna say better be,
right,
but I'm gonna say there's expectations on you as well
right,
as the stay-at-home mom.
right.
I ain't doing no homework. I'm not going to know. I'm
Yeah.
going to do certain things with the
Mhm.
children, but you're responsible for all of that now. All of that, all everything to dealing with the schoolings, the birthdays, the holidays, the That's going to be those are your
Right.
responsibilities on top of the
Yeah.
house responsibilities,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know, and,
Right.
and I'm not going to live any kind of way.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
There's levels to it.
It's
There's
just a big time,
mhm.
big time. My wife will tell you right now, she'll say, if you retire me, you'll never have to worry about anything.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. I don't worry about it now.
Right.
However, now I'm more of a help.
Right.
I have to help to do some of these things.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I make up beds and fold clothes and, you know, sweep and mop and do all of these different things. Oh, I clean blinds and windows too,
Mm.
But at the same time, if I wasn't, if I was the only breadwinner, I think she would just inherently take care of all of that,
Right. Right.
because she knows the roles. We've set those, they're set up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I get it. I get it. It definitely makes sense, bruh. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
a lot of times, yeah, it's gonna come down to what works for you. When you talk
Hmm.
about it in general, I mean, both of us agree. Like, no, it doesn't work in today's society.
No, it does not.
However, but if
No.
that's the agreement that you have within your relationship, then that's what works within your relationship.
Yeah, and
But
if,
I don't feel like I if I met a woman and that's what she's coming out stating, then
mhm.
deuces. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't
nah,
think I'm. Yeah.
because you're not willing to work within the system. I mean, because you're
Hmm.
not willing to do what's best for us. You've already
Right.
set your
You and
standards.
best for
Right.
you.
Right.
Yeah. And
You set your standards here and not thinking about what's best for us to get us up here. Because
mhm.
I look at it as when I'm bringing a person into my person is there to add on to, not subtract from.
Mhm. That's right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
my wife is 100% an addition to me.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Never to take away from.
Yeah. Yes.
And so
I
if
I
you've
agree.
already set your
100%.
standard up here and I
Yeah.
can't, and I gotta struggle just to get us to here,
Hmm.
and you're not willing to do stuff to help us get up here,
Hmm.
like nah.
Yeah.
I
But you also got
mentally
to see.
mentally I can't do that.
Yeah. But also you got to see. And some people can mask this, but there is, there's progression in it. You got to
Yeah.
see the potential in people as well.
There can be potential, right? So
Yeah.
there is, like, okay, if you say, all right, well, if you're not going to work, well, then we need to get rid of cable. We need to do this. We
Yeah.
need to cut out some of these bills, right? To
Hmm.
eliminate some of the stuff,
Hmm.
right? And if we can do that and still be comfortable, cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you still want all these things, you still want these expensive meals, you
Yeah.
still
You
now
can't live a
mentally,
lavish lifestyle. Can't live a
right,
lavish lifestyle, and there's no partnership, no
right.
growth among you both. You know what
So
I'm saying?
so basically, what you want is to be an NBA baby mama or a rapper's baby mama.
NFL, yeah, rapper baby
Yeah,
mama. Yeah,
because right now, for me, Mister 9 to 5 worker, you not for me.
no, I need a Mrs. 9 to 5 worker. You know what I'm saying? I need a Mrs. 9 to 5. But as my wife and I talk about all the time,
Mhm.
you make the decisions that's best for you and your partner, right?
Right.
And those decisions is how you buy houses, how you buy vehicles, how you buy property. Those are the decisions that's best for you and your partner. We purchase a house. If something happens to one of us can still pay the
Hmm.
mortgage, the
Right.
insurance. Now we ain't gonna have Netflix and HBO
Yeah.
Plus and
Right. 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 Right.
all that's gone. Maybe the internet too. So ain't no working from home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
However, our necessities will be met until the other one brings on the additional.
Yeah.
Then maybe we can spread a little frosting on our
Yeah.
cupcake. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But these are the expectations you set in up front.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Real dumb, real simple.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying that it's real simple, but it
It
should be. It shouldn't be hard to have a
it
conversation with
it
someone
shouldn't be, but
that you're going to
because
marry.
too many of us think with the wrong head
Yeah, I know. Jesus. I
and
know.
put on beer goggles, and we get ourselves into situations before we
Even
actually have the
have
real
the real
conversation,
conversation. I know.
right?
Been there,
Yeah,
done that. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Don't want to
It
get too messed up on that one, but it
yeah,
happens,
it happens. It happens. Well, let's go to break and reset,
All
and
right, bro.
we'll be
All right.
back with more of the Man Space Podcast. As we do each week, we like to close the show with a little bit of inspiration. Manspace Nation, the word of the day is confidence. Confidence is not about being perfect, it's about believing in your ability to face whatever comes your way. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build up step by step through your actions, through your mindset, through your perseverance. You see, every time you step out of your comfort zone, you're strengthening your confidence. Every time you refuse to let fear hold you back, you're showing the world and yourself what you are capable of. Remember, confidence doesn't mean that you'll always succeed, but it does mean that you'll always try. And trying is how you grow, how you learn, and how you unlock your true potential. So trust in yourself, embrace the journey, and take that next step forward. Until next time, Manspace Nation, you got this. Keep showing your confidence. Man,
Confidence is everything.
it is. And just the line of it doesn't mean that you'll always succeed, but it
That's right.
means that you'll always try.
Right. Yes, sir.
I mean,
That
and
is
that's half of it right
that's
there.
it.
At least getting in yourself in the game.
Yes.
You gotta get yourself in the game to
Try.
know, right?
Yes. Yep.
So,
How do you know you can't do something if you don't try?
right. I mean, I look at this past year for me, man,
Mm-hmm.
and getting on stage for
Yeah.
two events now,
Yeah.
where I've done MC work. I
Mm-hmm.
went down to Atlanta and shared my story. I was there for On Stage Plus, where you can catch the Man Space podcast, doing
Mm-hmm.
interviews for On Stage Plus. I was there doing interviews for Tap In Magazine, man.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you'd have said this a year ago, there would have been a whole lot of compound words that would have come behind.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, you don't know what you can do until you try, man. And
That's right.
it has basically inspired a whole new level of confidence in me just by getting myself out there, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I really came back. When I came back from Michigan, I felt like I came back a completely different person.
Yeah.
And how I view things and how
Mm-hmm.
I operate. And
Yeah. And I could tell that too. Just in simple conversations, how we've had multiple conversations about
Mhm.
things, everything under the sun and the
Yeah.
moon. I could tell there was more confidence in your communication, in your speech. Immediately, I could tell, and that's a beautiful thing, you know. It's a
It,
beautiful thing, bro. I mean,
it is.
look how far we've come in these
Right.
years that we've
Right.
been here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
hey, listen, all we can do is try. You
That's
never
it.
know. You never know
All we
where
can
you're
do is
going to
try.
go. That's it.
Yes,
That's it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Manspace Nation, you can catch myself and Les on the latest episode of the Outliers Edge podcast. It was a really good interview, man. You guys need to check that out. They do a really good job on that show. You need to subscribe to them as well. Check the show out. It is the Outliers Edge, where you can catch myself and Les in the latest episode. Tomorrow, I'm actually recording an episode of the Happy Entrepreneur Show with Shay Brown.
Nice.
I've sat there and I've watched like several episodes of his show in the past. I'm like, man, I'll never do this.
Here we go.
Here we go, man. Here we go. So I'm looking forward to recording that one tomorrow. So once I get the details on when that's going to air, I'll make sure to pass that along to the Manspace Nation. End of the year, December 25th, you will catch the best of the Manspace 2024 Volume 1. And then New Year's Day will be Volume 2, the best of 2024.
Yeah.
Yes. So that will
be back at it
for you coming in on New Year's and Christmas Day.
There you go.
So I think that's all I got, Les.
Hey,
I know
man.
we're gonna have a lot more things coming real soon.
Yeah. We look forward to it. We want you, our listeners, to look forward to it as well. Make sure you catch us.
I keep dropping hints about stuff big is coming.
That's it.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
Yeah, that's what we got to do, baby. We got to keep making it big. Keep blowing up.
Making it big. Keep blowing up. Keep blowing it up, man. Catch us where you can catch us. Podcast networks, Empowerment Podcast Network, SGP Radio. You can catch us on the manspacepodcast.com, BXTV, On Stage Plus. We're everywhere.
Woo, baby. Woo, we everywhere. We're all over the place.
And on that note of speaking of over,
we out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Man Space.
Whichever platform you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a show.
Remember to keep up with all the Manspace updates on our website, themanspacepodcast.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram at manspacenat1.
Until next time, Manspace Nation, he's Les, I am Russ, and we are out
of here. Your sister told me some things, but